Gibbs Cox Incorporated, a leading maritime engineering solutions and services provider. We ensure customer success through innovative maritime solutions by leveraging our heritage as a premier naval architecture, marine engineering, and engineering services provider. Gibbs Cox is not owned or tied to a shipyard, a system integrator, or a larger corporation with broader objectives. Gibbs Cox is only focused on your success and meeting your maritime engineering goals. Heritage is important. Every U.S. Navy surface sailor since Pearl Harbor likely rode the decks of our surface combatant designs. In fact, more than 70% of the Navy's World War II-era ships were built to those designs. Today, at least 45% of the Navy fleet features our designs, including 80% of the current U.S. Navy surface combatants. Globally, there are more than 180 naval ships of our design. We were the lead design agent for the Navy's FFG-7 and DDG-51 class ships, and we're the platform design authority, naval architect, and systems engineer behind the Freedom class LCS program. And we are working with the Missile Defense Agency as the design integrator for the Aegis Ashore facility. We earned this trust by remaining close to Navy culture, working side by side with our customers to understand their needs and helping them meet evolving mission requirements. We were among the first to use advanced specialized software and 3D visualization to analyze a ship's speed power, seakeeping, maneuvering, and topside arrangement, so our customers' ships can deliver consistent economy and performance. And we continue to earn the respect of our commercial shipyard partners with responsive service, well-defined and reliable processes, and frank perspectives on complex challenges. That trust has won us repeated work with some of the nation's finest shipbuilders, including BAE Systems Shipyards, Bollinger Shipyards, Kelowna's Shipyard, Marinette Marine, and VT Halter Marine. Gibbs Cox understands the importance of seamless teamwork on sensitive programs. We're prepared to engage with exactly the right scale and scope of proven design and engineering services that suit your needs, and we can deploy them precisely where and when they're needed, whether you're working on one priority ship or a fleet of dozens. There's something else you can expect from working with Gibbs Cox: smarter value. We've built a service portfolio wide enough to support industry's largest programs, all backed by great technology and best-in-class processes. But we've also kept the agility, energy, and everyday spirit of a smaller partner, dedicated to maritime solutions. This focus allows us to attract top talent, eager to join our legacy and innovate the fleets of the future, while avoiding the bureaucracy of a big firm. For more than 4 generations, Gibbs Cox has helped propel this ocean-going revolution. We've always been, and always will be, a naval engineering company. The DNA of our designs is in fleets of every description and mission, operating at every conceivable scale, in commerce and in war.
Gibbs Cox has been known for over 80 years to be teamed and partnered with the Navy as one of the principal naval architectures and naval engineering firms. But we've evolved into much more than that. Quite frankly, 20% of today's business is in the commercial market, where in the mid-1900s we've been known for the design of the SS United States, one of the main ocean liners at that time. Today we're designing barges, dredges, even working engineering solutions for some of the new private yachts that are out there. About 50% of our business is in the government services side, and most people aren't aware of that. So we've evolved into something even more.
We've succeeded over the last few years in ramping up in a lot of growth, and that growth has come from a couple of programs, certainly the Littoral Combat Ship Program, certainly the Aegis Ashore program, and the DDG-51 programs that we're heavily involved with. And we tried to hire smartly and hire folks that would be part of the team and work out with the team really well and synergize and energize as part of the whole group working together. But in doing that, we also had to make sure that our machine, our people, our processes work really smoothly. I've worked with large companies, and the bureaucracies confuse in my mind who their customer is. We recognize our customer. We support our customer. We don't get confused with who the end customer is, who we are working for. We're not paying attention to just the bottom line dollar. We're paying attention to making sure we deliver the right product on time for the right price.
So we try and maintain not only a diversity in age and background in our workforce, the combination of seasoned, experienced professionals and brand new graduates. We find that both learn a lot from each other when given the opportunity to work together. We also look to balance our workforce across engineering disciplines. So, we're not just naval architects or just propulsion engineers. We have a relatively balanced mix of staff in all those key disciplines, whether it's naval architecture, structural engineering, propulsion and auxiliaries, electrical engineering, combat systems integration. We cover the full spectrum there.
Gibbs Cox has an 80-year legacy, a partnership with the Navy that goes back to World War I. And it's pretty impressive when you sit and think about it. And there's been multiple shows and articles in the past year just on that. One of the things that I find kind of neat is every day I walk through the lobby and I walk right past this framed letter of appreciation, which was from the Secretary of War in 1945, James Forrestal. And it was a letter to this company that said they couldn't have won World War II without the engineering capability and capacity to build and sometimes rebuild the fleet in World War II. And that's an impressive statement. But it'd be nothing more than a history lesson if we just let it lie right there. One of the things that Gibbs Cox has done over the decades is they've taken the best of the best of the processes, the core experiences, and brought them forward, merged them with new technologies. So as we've evolved from 2D to 3D CAD, computer-aided design models of designs, we've taken the best processes and codified them to the most efficient way to bring forward designs in maritime engineering.
We take a lot of pride in our autonomy. Our products really are, people are our resources, but we're not an augmentation company as much as we're a studies and engineering company. And it's important that our folks in our autonomy recognize that when we get a study to do or we're working on a project, we're not predisposed with a solution.
Gibbs Cox is the leading independent naval architecture, commercial platform architecture, or marine engineering firm. That's a significant statement. Within that statement, the most significant word is independent. And we believe that is a discriminator that sets us apart from the rest of our competitors and in the market itself. Independent because we are a privately held company, not responsive and responsible to anybody else's goals except our own. We're not tied to a shipyard. We're not tied to a leading system integrator. We're not tied to a larger corporation that does multiple products and solutions. So when we say we're independent and the customer says, hey, I have this problem or I need this kind of a solution, he knows he's going to get one that's shaped to his requirements, to meet his requirements, and not shaped to also meet another corporate goal that might shape it and design it towards a certain shipyard or a certain product or system that needs to be integrated into that solution.
And our secret is our commitment, the company's commitment to excellence and our dedication to be the best naval architect, marine engineering company in the world. And a lot of that secret comes from, or was provided by our father, William Francis Gibbs, in 1929. So a lot of our I would say that the FFG-7 class ships, the DDG-51 class ships, the cruisers, the LCS, a lot of that is built upon knowledge. Knowledge has been within the company over the last 60 or 70 years. It's training, it's tutoring new engineers, it's passing on knowledge, it's passing on tradition as we move forward in the future for future Navy designs. Today, for the DDG 51 program, that program was, the first ship was delivered, I believe, sometime in the early 1991 time frame. And today there are 62 ships out in the class. And Gibbs, of course, was the ship design agent, and there are plans on adding additional ships to the class, which means more changes, more design changes, more engineering changes. The Navy depends on us and uses Gibbs and Cox as their independent design agent for integrating, being the system integrator for the United States Navy for that class of ships.
We definitely build on our heritage of providing 80 years of quality engineering service to the industry. But if we're not innovating, we're going to stagnate, and that's not where we want to be. So we're always pushing ourselves to make sure that we're bringing the new capabilities and the right capabilities to the Navy, to our clients, whoever they might be, to make sure that we're staying ahead of that curve. We have within the company some of the best in the industry who have been with the company for a very long time, and we're taking those senior mentors and we're using them to help teach our younger engineers, and we're making investment in those younger engineers. There's a number of different ways we're doing that. One of the principal ways, and a great way that we've had a lot of success with, is through IRAD studies, internal research and development. And what we'll do is we'll look at the market, we'll identify where we think there might be a need or a potential opportunity, or in response to something that we're hearing from the Navy or some of our clients about, you know, what they see or the problem that they're having, and we go and we search those problems, and once we find one, we'll invest. We'll invest in a solution.
One of the things that we're seeing in the marketplace is, as new technology comes to the commercial marine market, those ships are becoming more and more complex, and the distinction between commercial and military is getting a lot more gray, shall we say. And I think that's an area where we can really support our commercial clients by bringing our understanding of integrating complex systems in a maritime environment. Conversely, the commercial marketplace is very cost-focused. It's a very competitive market. It's a very driven to the bottom line as far as construction, minimizing construction costs, minimizing in-service and maintenance costs throughout their service lives. And what we're learning as we work in the commercial field, we're able to bring that back to our Navy programs as well.
What that teaches us is best of practice from commercial side as well as from government side. So we're able to take the lessons we learn on one platform and take it to another platform. It reduces costs for our end customer. It reduces risk for our end customers. As a result, we can turn around and come back pretty quickly with solutions that involve thorough analysis and thorough experience.
High value, low cost, and on budget. That's somewhat instilled in, I would say, a lot of the program managers, upper management, in terms of engineering design practices, in terms of management procedures that will allow us to do, I would say, proper QA, quality assurance checking prior to any deliverables submitted to the Navy. Gibbs is on the forefront in terms of new technologies. We look for new technologies, automated technologies that would allow us to do a job smarter, right? To do a job smarter, which would offer maybe a reduction in man hours, which would reduce the cost of a task. And by doing so, we would pass the savings on to the client. So that's how we're able to keep our costs down, and that's how we're able to meet our high quality standard.
We will be flexible to meet our client where they are. And so our experience across a broad spectrum of engineering capabilities really lends itself to that. We are equally capable and comfortable working in ConOps and preliminary requirements, preliminary design development, as we are on the detailed design side. We've seen it all, from a blank sheet of paper to an asset in the water, where we're actually supporting that asset as it's sailing around. And how you get to that asset. What do the customers need? What are they looking for? When a customer comes to us with a set of requirements, we can do a requirements analysis. We can look at those requirements and say, okay, here are your cost drivers. This is what's growing the cost. Where are your needs? What do you really need? What are the must-haves, and where are we negotiable? Because we want to be able to develop a solution for you, a ship platform, a ship design, that really gets you where you need to be.
About a year and a half ago, Gibbs Cox opened an office in New Orleans, Louisiana, specifically and with the intent to establish a foothold in the commercial vessel, shipbuilding, engineering market down on the Gulf Coast. It's highly competitive, and there's a lot of folks down there. But the reality is the commercial market is becoming more demanding. The new technologies that are out there, the economy that demands the same kind of cost savings and efficiencies that you hear on the military side. So with that kind of demand and that kind of requirement, we believe that Gibbs & Cox, with our experience, our 80 years of engineering and architecture in the maritime world, bringing that forward, we can bring a solution, an optimized solution that can fit in the commercial world.
Last year we supported 14 different shipyards on 14 different programs. And I'm not referring to just going to the shipyards to visit. I'm talking about providing value-added engineering, value-added designs for those shipyards. We've worked on car ferries, barges, private yachts, tugboats, dredges for customers in the United States who are building platforms for folks in other countries, in Canada and Malaysia and Bangladesh. So we've really that's been part of our diversification, and we're pretty pleased with the way that's gone so far.
Well, I think it really depends on that particular client and what they're looking to get out of their project. If it's a commercial client who has a very complex design that they're looking to undertake, we're a great addition to their program because we're experienced in bringing complex ships together from a detailed design perspective. If it's a Navy client that's looking to leverage commercial technology, we can help them in that area from our, by bringing in some of the experience that we've learned on commercial programs. If it's a naval combatant program, then we draw upon our legacy of design experience over the 80 years of the firm in supporting that kind of an endeavor.
We operate with a number of different shipyards within the United States, all over the world. Every shipyard has a slightly different way of doing things. Every shipyard has different standards, different way they want to see things, and every program has a different set of rules. So Gibbs is very used to having to adapt our systems, our processes, how we communicate, how we develop products, what we provide to the client, to adapt our system to match their needs. And when we do that, we're providing a lot of value to them. And so when we go into the international arena, it's just an extension of that.
I think probably the hardest challenge is establishing that teamwork and working relationship with the client that breaks down some of the cultural barriers that you might have, or language barriers. And once you have that in place, then you're really just faced with an engineering problem that they want to do the same thing we do, and it becomes a very collaborative and successful design.